Hey guys, it's me Leeson, and this is the long awaited part 4 to the HTML how to create cookie clicker website. I think that's the title. It's been quite a while. Anyway, the last upload was like November 20th, so last year, quite a while, but we're gonna head right into the episode because it's been a long time. So within this episode we will be working on the multiplier upgrade. So basically this is an example here, and if we maybe I have some, there we go, we've got something going. Let's just get some auto clicking going. So at 300 cookies we'll just buy those, so we're getting 4 cookies per second, and if we buy that upgrade it should be 6 cookies per second, and then this is going up every 6. So that's what we'll be aiming to do, and that can go up and up and up. So let's close that down and get up the code. Right, we're going to start off by adding a button so they can buy it. So let's start with, oh yeah, we need to give it an ID. So when we edit it, we'll go amount multiplier and go multiplier upgrade ×2. Following that, let's create our beloved button, which is where all the magic happens with calling the functions, with a hyperlink or href. I'm not too knowledgeable about this, but href of hashtag, so it does nothing. And we're going to give that a on click event. So when we click the button, it's going to run this, which is by multiplier, and that is a function which is going to run in JavaScript like the rest of our buttons, like by auto click, by form. So within here we're going to go span id equals amount multiplier 2 and put ×2. Right, this may be a bit confusing right here, this span, because I don't think we've used it in the series before. But basically what this piece of code here is going to do, a span is just like a paragraph tag, but it's kind of like, it styles whatever's in between it. So in CSS you could say, like, if reference it as a span with the ID of that, instead of being a paragraph tag with an ID. So it's just a bit less, I don't know how to really explain it, but I hope that gives a basis. So it's just like a paragraph tag, except it doesn't have the paragraph default style, and it's just a way of styling something individually, I guess. So what we're going to use this for is basically to just allow us to reference this ×2 here. So when we upgrade our multiplier, we can go get this HTML element by ID amount multiplier 2 and change this number to the next increment. So that will be like ×3, ×4, ×5, and carry on. So from there, after creating our button, we need to create some text underneath it, which is going to be the cost of a I bet I've like misspelled one of these, but the cost of a multiplier, which we're going to set 200 cookies with a ID of, wait, what am I about now? I've just set a current multiplier ID for this paragraph tag, which is going to tell us our current multiplier is ×1, because they're not going to start off 1. So I think that examples I showed at the beginning, it actually had a ×2 from when I loaded in. It may have. If it did, then I guess there you go, but yeah, it'll start on ×1. So if we save that and refresh this, we've now got this here. So like if I was to load, okay, never mind, I don't know what I was on about earlier, but yeah, so buying that will change that and whatever when that has a function, because right now it doesn't have a function, so it's not going to do anything. Right, next up we will require to create our function. So right underneath a by form we're going to go function, what am I spelling there, what did we call it, by multiplier, and give it some curly brackets. So it's going to run whatever's inside of here, which is going to be if cookie count is above or equal to multiplier plus 1 times 100. Let me think if that's right. So it's going to get whatever their multiplier is, which by default we got set in last episode, which is 1. And it's going to go 1 plus 1, so multiply 2 times 200, which is 200. If statement with our curly brackets again, and we're going to go cookie count. So if it does meet it when they run that function from clicking the button, it's going to deduct their cookie count by the same thing again. So multiplier plus 1 times 50 times 100. Yeah, times 100. Okay. Following that, it's going to give him a multiplier. Multiplier plus equals multiplier plus 1. There we go. So now that should actually give him a multiplier when they're clicking it, but the multiplier is not going to do anything unless we set that in our timer. No. Oh wait. Aha. So from yeah. Right. So right here we're gonna have to change this so that it times it by the multiplier. So we're gonna go times multiplier and times multiplier. So now whenever the timer is gonna keep going every second, it's gonna give them however many auto clickers they've got times multiplier. So in this case, if they have 1 auto clicker, it would normally give them 1 because their multiplier is on 1. But if they upgrade the multiplier to be 2, every 1 auto clicker is going to start giving 2 cookies. Same for farms. So instead of 2, it would be giving 4 if the multiplier was 2, and so on as that goes up and up and up. So that'll be the timer part done. So that should technically work, but we won't be able to see this change unless we already mentioned that. Oh wait, we did mention it here. We did go times multiplier, so maybe that will change, because right now it's times in by 1. So let's just get ourselves 200 cookies and buy multiplier upgrade. Okay, we're running into some issues already. It's not wanting to buy it. Let's have a look. Notice that we actually didn't add in the code at the top to make it change the value, so to say it's times 3 and whatever. So it's actually still going to show that it's 200 and not deduct our points, even though it's actually worth the next amount. So if we do buy an auto clicker, as you see, it's 2 cookies every second, and it's going up now. Where if we refresh the page and get an auto clicker, it's just 1 cookie per second instead of the 2 with the multiplier. So if we go get that multiplier real quick, we'll see that will have gone up to 2 cookies per second, and now it's going up every 2 cookies. So finally, I believe we just have to update this info in this section, and also add in the save and load in after that. So we're gonna go to underneath here. Underneath here, and add that back. I don't even know if it was there in the first place. If it wasn't, then mistakes. So we're gonna create a get element by ID, amount, multiplier. Have I got my spelling messed up? I do indeed. Let's just fix this up. Multiply. There we go. Okay, so amount multiplier, that'll say multiplier upgrade 2, but we want it to say .html equals multiplier upgrade times, and then plus multiplier, so the multiplier they have plus 1. So that'll say, if we go to multiplier upgrade times 2, so next it will say times 3, because if they bought the upgrade, they will have a times 2 multiplier, and this variable here will be set to 2. So if that's set to 2, it's going to go multiplier plus 1 and change it to 3. So it'll say times 3. So in the next upgrade for the multiplier is going to be times 3. So let's create our next one here, which is the amount multiplier 2. And I need some double M's here. What am I doing? So sloppy right now. Right, inner HTML equals, and this one is multiplier 2, where are you? Right here, okay, times 2, so that's the one they're going to be clicking on to buy. So we need to just basically say times plus multiplier plus 1. I believe so, and that needs that. If that's the case, then the multiplier they have at the moment will be 1. They want another one, so it'll say 2 here. So the next buying one will say 2. So it's like the same as this. So that'll go up to 3, that'll go up to 3. So the next one will be multiplier times 3. So finally we have to do the cost of the multiplier and the current multiplier. Right. Document get element by ID cost multiplier inner HTML equals, and we don't need those speech marks yet, 2 brackets, multiplier plus 1, because the cost is going to go up, times 100 plus cookies. So that means if they're on a 1 multiplier and they're going up to a 2 multiplier, it'll say var multiplier 1, so 1 plus 1, 2 times 200, 200. If it's 3, 300, 4, 400, 5, 500. And you can obviously change this times number to the amount you want it to increment by. So finally, document.getElement by ID, once again, current multiplier, so they actually know what multiplier they're on. I probably spelled one of these wrong, so if there's another like cut in the video, you know why, because I need to locate where the error is. Your current multiplier is x plus multiplier speech mark. Speech mark? What am I on about? That's not speech mark. Right. Multiply. Yeah, make sure your variables are correct, because when they're misspelled, it's obviously going to throw an error back at you and it's not going to understand what you're trying to do. So that should actually display other stuff if we actually remember to put update in here, because when they buy one, we want it to update. So let's do all those. Do I need those? I actually don't think so. We'll keep them off. It seems to work normally. It shouldn't need it anyway, because it's like the last one in that function, I think. So when we buy it, it's going to take off our cookies, give us a multiplier, and update it, which is then going to do all this stuff here. Primarily this part here. So it updates the multiplier upgrade for the next one, the one we've got, and the cost of the next one, and also the amount again inside of the button. So that's all that. So let's test that out. So if we get some wonderful cookies, 200, and we go upgrade, it did deduct. And alright, so guys, I realized why the error is happening, and it's actually due to what I said earlier with my variable name on line 6 being incorrect. Not this technically, but what it's trying to access, because it can't find it. So as you see, I've told it to find this element by ID amount multiplier, but if we go down to where we buy it, I've actually spelled this wrong, which is why it can't find it, and I've spelled this wrong, which is also why, if that was right, it would still not work, because it can't find that one, and hopefully these two are right. Let's have a quick scan. Looks like it. Oh no, it's not. We got multiplier. There we go. So that should be everything correct. Hopefully we get no errors, because this is actually like take 2 of this segment area, blah 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 blah, cut, because I had to find the error. So now if we get our 200 cookies for the 3rd time for me, but first time you're seeing this, and buy it, it's gone up times 2, times 3, times 3, 300 cookies. It's working, plus 2 every time. So now if we try buy one at 200 cookies, it shouldn't let us, which we're going to try to do. No, it doesn't want to let us. So now we're going to try get to 300 cookies, buy one, and boom, it does. Current multiplier 3, Next one is 4, 400 cookies, gaining 3 cookies per second because it's got one auto clicker at a multiplier of times 3, going up by 3, so it all works. Now the next part is the save and load, which is probably the easiest part, because obviously if we try load, it's not going to load in our multipliers properly as we want it to. And actually I noticed a problem there, because when it updates, when we refresh the page, it does its update, we've got 2 spelling mistakes here from our code. So let's go back to this. These errors will be here, so that's correct, but the other one isn't, and we'll go capital C here and go down to where our by multiplier is, so we can go to this. You know, spelling multiplier so many times is not an easy task, because it's a long word. I'm trying to type it fast, and I just brain farts. Okay, so yeah, now that shouldn't happen anymore, which it doesn't, which is good. So now if we go to our save and load, we just need to set some local storage items. So we go local storage. Make sure this is a capital S, because I've seen people have errors because of not having that. So I am capital again for the I. And then if we put our curly brackets, we're just going to call it multiplier. This time I'll paste it just to be safe. You know, I don't want to get this messed up now. And multiplier again. So it's going to use the variable multiplier and save it as multiplier in the local storage. So now if we go down to our load section, we obviously want to load that back in. So, you know, I'll just paste it in, be safe. Even then I'm not safe. Multiplier equals local storage dot get item, and then we named it no, why am I typing that? I'm going to screw it up. Multiplier. Put our colon on the end. Next, we also need to now use parse in, which if we read it here, actually it says parse the string argument and returns an integer of a specified radix or base. So all that's going to do is turn this that we just got back from a string into an integer. So we're going to put multiplier. We're going to paste it actually, because, you know, me and my spelling. And then that should be everything. Hopefully, saving and loading works. If we want to refresh this, get ourselves a multiplier at 200 cookies. Buy it. Buy an auto clicker. Buy an auto clicker. And 2 cookies per second, going up by 2. So, we forgot to save it. Back to a times 2 multiplier. Back to an auto clicker, going up by 2, giving us 2. Save it, refresh it, load it, getting 2 cookies per second, going up by 2. Next upgrade 3, 300 cookies, current multiplier 2, own 1 auto clicker, 24 cookies for our next auto clicker. Seems everything has saved correctly and loaded correctly, and it's going fine. So we're just going to buy another auto clicker, another multiplier, and hope that's going to cross. Yep, that was 300 cookies cost. So that is the end of part 4 to HTML create a cookie clicker site. Hope you enjoyed it. It has been a couple months away from 2016 November for part 3, so we may be finishing this off with a finale next episode on part 5, which this time won't be in a couple months but in a week, hopefully. So that episode will be probably styling this up with some CSS, getting it looking a bit more presentable. And that'll be the end of the series for HTML create a cookie clicker site. In that episode, also I'll be getting your suggestions for the next series to start up. Anyway, hope you enjoyed the video, and see you next time. Also hit that subscribe button, please.